Hey, eighth grade. How are you guys? Miss you guys. Probably don't miss me a whole lot, but we'll be back to work on Monday. And this COVID stuff is no fun. So I appreciate you guys being good while I'm gone. It feels like I'm a teacher and I have a sub or something. And encourage you to continue to wear masks and be safe. And this is actually late Wednesday night for me, so I'm gonna get through this relatively quick. All right. So announcements, reminders. We've been talking about our core values. We had W stands for work hard. And then the T stands for taking responsibility. There's a little sign here that says stop making excuses. I think of this more as being proactive. Habit one that we learned about last year, because when people think about take responsibility, it just seems to come to mind. You've done something wrong. You got to, take the blame or whatever and take the consequences. I don't think it's just that. That's not what this stands for as a core value. But just knowing that you have this big circle of control that you're responsible for, and try not to blame things that really aren't other people's issues on them. Okay. And so you can't control every part of your world, especially as a young person. I know that's frustrating, but you can control a good portion of it and your response. And so I think that habit one is what we're talking about here. It's just saying, you know what, it's sometimes if you have some issues, you want to look here first, see what you can do, and there may be other factors. So let's take responsibility. Small change with our Chromebook repair system. Since this is the first year we've been kind of figuring this out, I do not want anybody going to the office anymore. So some of you guys have went to Miss Anitra and Miss Tara up there when you've had problems if I'm not available. So if your homeroom teacher doesn't quite know what to do, which happens a lot, that's fine. Then come to myself or the librarians, because they're all ready to go. Mr. Armstrong, Mrs. Pedroza have a nice system. It's pretty smooth. And so really you should almost look for them first, but I'm happy to help too. I'm just not there right now. So, and of course, continue to take care of those things. And we got some cases if you don't have those, and people who have older models, we're getting ready to replace those too. The one who have the very oldest model, there's just a few of you. Okay, so small change there with the Chromebooks. What else is going on? So out of our 6 decisions that will possibly change your life, we've been talking about decision 2, friends, after decision 1, school. So we've already talked about surviving the ups and downs of friendship and knowing that that's going to happen, and to try to get through those and not just, sort of give up on a friendship for one little thing, because they happen. So we went through some tips for that last week. Lesson 3 for this decision is kind of a general lesson, and it's talking about making and keeping friends, and gives you, like Sean Covey does a lot in this book, some tips. And I did want to tell you guys that when I read some survey questions, I was very pleasantly surprised that I make these videos and I never really know if you're watching or listening or paying attention. And the survey pretty much said that in all homerooms, for the most part, you are paying attention and trying to have quick follow-up discussions. So kudos to your homeroom teachers and you guys for trying to get something out of these videos. I know they can be kind of boring, but if you pick up even like one little tidbit every once in a while, hopefully it'll be worth it to you. Okay, so essential 1, these are Sean Covey's tips for making and keeping friends. So first, be slow to judge. But I think what he's talking about here is sometimes we close off possibilities, that there's people, and I know now that I'm older, that there's a few people in high school that I'm like, oh, what if I would have got to know them a bit more? And I didn't, because I prejudged them, as much as I hate to admit it, based on their appearance or their clothes, heaven forbid, or if they didn't fit in a certain social group, or I was worried about, what sport they played or whatever. I think when I got to college, it was a little nicer to open up your possibilities. But homogenous means kind of the same. And if you're just going to really just be friends with the people who look and act like you're going to have a bunch more of yous. And that's not, as much as you may like yourself, that's kind of boring. Okay. So never cut yourself off from a possible friendship just by not knowing someone's whole story and judging them beforehand. Essential 2, remember, you need to make the effort sometimes. And I've been around a few folks that have thought about, I'm close to this social group. I wish that they would reach out to me a bit more. I want to be part of that group. Maybe it's you that can do more. Okay. And so try to reach out. Don't wait for them forever. Be proactive as always. And then even if it doesn't go great the first time, keep going. Okay. And I want a poster of this picture right here, which is a still from Into the Spider-Verse. And it's when Miles Morales finally makes the leap of faith and they kind of flip the camera. It's a cartoon, but pretty cool, because I think that I don't know if I've had personal experience with this, maybe a little bit, but there's sometimes people that, hey, I'd like to spend more time with them. If you're both shy, someone's got to do something. So don't wait forever. Okay. You may have to make the effort yourself to make a new friendship. How about the ones that you have already? Don't forget to build those RBAs, or relationship bank accounts, that we learned about last year. Remember, you have things you can do that are deposits that you put that in. It's like the little piggy gets this shows gas, but the idea is a bank, right? And then if you have withdrawals, some of these can maybe even in friendships or certainly damage them. So I'm not going to go over them in detail. You've heard these before, but being kind, I mean, that's pretty simple for a friendship. Sometimes when you've known someone a long time, we may lose sight of that. Being willing to say you're sorry, being loyal instead of doing this can be a definite problem. Gossiping and talking behind people's backs, not good. Trustworthy, meaning you make a promise, keep it. And this thing is covering it up for some reason. If I stop for a second, I think it goes away. But it's listening and talking too much. There you go. Okay, deposit, listening, withdrawals. And he says that the listening part is maybe the most important one. So if you have friends who are really just like waiting for their turn to talk, or your input doesn't matter, I don't know that your RBA with that particular person, it's going to be very strong. So listen, okay, hear what they need. Just be there for them sometimes. Essential 4, work to be your best self. Part of this chapter kind of made me a little troubled that he said, I think this part was titled "Be Likable." And I just didn't like that, because it seems like you could get in the dangerous game of always trying to please others. You should not change who you are, completely change your look, your ideals, whatever it might be, just to try to fit in. That's not good, okay? But you might be a bit reflective and think about, am I the type of person that people really want to be around? Are there things I can work on? Because I want you to not change yourself, but be the best version of yourself, because sometimes good friends need to tell you, like, hey, you're kind of being rude, or we never really do what I'd like to do. And then once you see some of those things you can work on them, be a better person. But remember, those are the things that you can control and alter, not your fundamental being or who you really are, okay, on the inside. You don't want to change that. Don't worry about appearance. They don't like me because of this. And for some reason, when I was making this earlier, I thought of Wheaties. And when I was younger, when people would say, you better eat your Wheaties, it was kind of like, get ready, because Wheaties would make you be your best. And I guess they still make the cereal. I don't see it much anymore. But if you want to be a good friend and make new friends, sometimes it does take a little bit of self-reflection. Look in the mirror, see how you can get better. Essential number 5, be inclusive. Hey, look at those young ladies. I think those are sixth graders at the time that picture was taken. They've changed a little bit. Oh, cute little kids there. Now they're young ladies, grown up a little bit. I was looking for a big group picture in my files, and I couldn't really find one, but I was just thinking about, it's not, and here's a quote from Sean: "You may be enjoying the security of a close-knit group of friends right now without realizing there are always people on the outside wanting in." If it happened to be those 4 girls that were always together all the time, and I've seen them, it's not that way, that's great. You have that core group, but you're kind of limiting your own opportunities and the opportunities of others. So yes, if you have a core group of 4, cool, but you can invite other people in, people you've known for a while. Yeah, you can leave that group sometimes. So I'm just saying, include folks. You have a good group. Don't make it so exclusive, because exclusivity starts heading towards clique territory, which is not good. All right. Essential 6, take the high road. So Sean calls this something different, I think, too. You can be kind when people are unkind, which is true. But I love this from Abraham Lincoln, who people told him, and this is a famous biography about him by Doris Kearns Goodwin, famous historian and biographer. And he had a cabinet full of people that believed much differently than him. Okay. And in modern 2-party system politics, you don't see that anymore. Very rarely do you have high advisors from different parties, because it's just, you want people with the same ideology, and I don't think that's good for us. Lincoln put people on there because he thought, I want to hear all ideas and then decide what's going to be best. And this is what he said when people are like, why are you nice to friends or to enemies, and try to make them your friends, instead of just saying, kick them out of your political system or your administration. He said, isn't that what I'm doing when I make an enemy? of a friend. So he's saying, okay, you say get rid of them, get them out of my administration. If I make them a friend, they're also not my enemy anymore. So you can take the high road, and I think that's if everybody who's ever been mean to you ever. We're in a small town, right? Some of you guys have been together since kindergarten. If you say the moment someone's mean to you, they can never be my friend again, and you only have two categories in life, friend and enemy, eventually the enemy pile is going to be bigger than the friend pile. So just try to remember that when other people are mean to you, you can take the high road. Michelle Obama says, when they go low, we go high. And just you can return kindness or just maybe walking away. You don't always have to respond with unkindness as well. Last one. Think about, is your friend group better because you're in it? Are my friends better people because I'm their friend? Do they make better decisions when I'm around? Sean talked about in his book that Jordan, old MJ, the GOAT over there, some of you guys may want to argue about GOATs in basketball. Come at me if you're ready. Steph's not in the top 5. Sorry, guys. But Jordan, and he had a little renaissance almost this summer because some of you guys might have watch this documentary, The Last Dance. Sports people, you should. It's pretty good. But as good as he was famous for when people were on the court with him, they got better just by being around him. Some modern NBA superstars are a little bit more hero ball. They just want to play, get their own shot. So to be a really true good friend, make the group better. Okay. If you're the one that is kind of always doing the crazy thing and trying to make them do stuff that might be on a bit of the edge, making bad decisions. Yeah, that might be fun for a while, but they're going to find a way to some different friends. So just wonder about that, is if you're always trying to lift up your friend and they're doing the same for you in that group, you guys are going to accomplish a lot. Okay. So those are some essentials about trying to make good friends, keep them, and knowing that they're pretty valuable. When I finished this, I looked at quite a few friendship quotes, and there's a lot out there, lots of them with like flowers and the memes and stuff. And not that I don't like flowers, but I'd heard a lot of them. Some of them just seem kind of cheesy, and I stumbled on this one, and I'm not even sure who Ed Cunningham is. So there's a sportscaster named Ed Cunningham, but I'm not sure if this is the one. But he said, friends are those rare people who ask how we are, and then wait to hear the answer. And that might seem confusing to you, but my wife and I have talked about this before. In the adult world, there's a lot of just small talk or just kind of being polite, right? Oh, how are you today? Fine. And most people, if I ask, to be honest, sometimes I don't know you very well. I may be expecting just a pretty short answer, but to show that you really care and you really, really want to know how that person's doing, that's nice. That's what friendship really is. Okay. Not someone like, oh yeah, whatever. You're someone to hang around with. They're really interested in you and your well-being and your safety, and yes, having a good time. So that's why it's never a bad thing to talk about how you could be a better friend or make more friends. So thanks for listening. Thanks for being awesome. And I'll see you guys in person on Monday. Okay. See you. Sorry for the awkwardness at the end. I should push the button faster. I can't see.